What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds. I'm Ryan Brower, and today we are here to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6, the season finale. Very excited to be doing that, but first up, let's kind of address the elephant in the room. Yes, I know, this video is looking a little bit different today. You don't have the pictures and the videos over my face talking, you know what I'm saying? So today, you guys, listen, the past week or so, I've been really busy. And this week has been no different. Like, for instance, tonight I'm going to be at AEW Dynamite, which is going to be in Milwaukee. So I'm very excited to be doing that. And the only way that I'm going to get this video up in time is if we do things the old-fashioned way. I still have yet to watch Miss Marvel from this week as well, so that's another video that I gotta work on. Most likely won't happen today, but hopefully in the next coming days as well. I know that for any Miss Marvel fans out there, I wasn't able to do a video on episode 2, but I'll make it up to you guys. I'm gonna do a video on both episodes coming up here pretty soon, and now that Kenobi's done, I'll be able to put more focus into the Miss Marvel videos going forward, so that should be exciting. But we're here to talk about Kenobi today, you guys. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video around to help support the channel. I'm someone who likes to do a lot of reaction videos to fan-made Star Wars content, such as fan films and tribute videos, and I also like to do a lot of discussions on the latest episodes that appear on Disney Plus from both Star Wars and Marvel. So make sure you guys subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out. Thanks, guys. Another thing I do want to talk about real quick, you guys, and it's something I haven't discussed yet, but I'm really excited to do so, is the fact that we reached over 500 subscribers here on the channel, which is really crazy. First up, thank you guys. That's so freaking awesome. I hope to continue to grow the channel, but I kind of just, when it happened, I sort of just sat back and took a moment to think about it, and I'm like, man, someone with no name recognition, right? I'm not famous at all. I'm just a Star Wars fan, you guys. I'm just a big fan. I'm a big nerd, if you will. And I'm like, man, 500 people, over 500 people decided to click that subscribe button and take a chance on me. That's really cool, you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope to continue to do you guys proud and to continue to grow the channel. I'm in this for the long run, and I appreciate you guys joining me on this journey. All right, guys, let's start talking about what we all came here to talk about today, and that's Kenobi. Definitely the best episode of the series. This one was really good, and it was much needed as well, considering that some of the previous episodes just weren't as good in my opinion. So I think this episode was definitely an essential one. I still took some issues with some things that happened in the episode, but overall the positives far outpast the negatives. When Reva showed up on Tatooine, I was like, oh, that was quick. And then they cut to the ship being chased by the Star Destroyer, Kenobi's ship, right? And I'm like, how did Reva get there so quickly? And I'm like, okay, maybe the Star Destroyer has been chasing him for a while. The whole idea of Obi-Wan realizing okay, I have to do, if these guys are gonna survive, I have to go and draw Vader away. I love how Obi-Wan told them, you are the future, and especially when he looked at Leia as well, because it's true, that's what this is all about, is protecting that future, protecting Luke, protecting Leia. And I think Kenobi really comes to understand that in this episode, and we'll get onto it. I loved seeing Beru in this episode because we have yet to see her appear in this show, and she's just as ready as Owen is to protecting this boy. The way Owen lied to Luke, I was like, oh man, I mean, I guess it would make sense, right? Because Luke doesn't at this point understand what he is or what significance he has to the galaxy. So yeah, he tells him, yeah, we're being hunted by Tuskens, you just gotta go hide. But then later on, I guess, when he is being chased by Reva, I'm not sure necessarily then what he would be thinking, but I don't know. Whatever. All right, I want to get to the Kenobi Vader fight, because that was definitely one of my favorite parts of this episode. So before everyone asks ooh, where do we rank this fight? I'm going to tell you this right now, Revenge of the Siths was still better, but that is not to take away from this fight, you guys. I really loved it. And the whole thing that I loved so much about it was at first, Obi-Wan's sitting there, he's putting up a fight, probably more so than he did the last time that these guys fought. But there comes a moment where Vader just is able to outpower him and outsmart him, right? And then Obi-Wan gets buried by the rocks. But what I loved so much about this was the moment when he's hearing Anakin, he's hearing Vader, And then like he just starts seeing images of Luke and Leia in his mind. And I think that's the moment where it finally clicked. I was about to snap, and it finally clicked for him. There we go. Got it that time. Because he realizes it's all about these two kids. Not that he didn't think that before, but I think like in that moment, he kind of realizes why he has to be better. Because you see him in the previous episodes, like he's just down on himself. He's just kind of going through the motions. He's not the Jedi Master that we're used to seeing. And in that moment of him seeing Luke and Leia and then him rising up from the rocks and then force lifting them all, that's the moment where I'm like, okay, we got freaking badass Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Master, Council member Obi-Wan Kenobi back. And honestly, I think there's going to be people out there that, I mean, not that I know for sure, but I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are like, oh, they didn't use Vader properly. Why did Vader get his butt kicked by Kenobi? I think just the reason why it happened is because Obi-Wan went into that mode. You know what I'm saying? Like you see in Rebels when Obi-Wan goes up against Maul, Obi-Wan beats him in 3 moves because he goes into that Jedi protector mode. You know what it is I'm protecting. I have to destroy you. I did write in my notes when Vader started burying him with the rocks, I'm like, oh my gosh, Vader has the high ground. And then the bit that got me a little emotional, and it was like the one point in this episode where I did shed a few tears, and that's when Obi-Wan cut the mask of Vader, very similar to the way that Ahsoka did it in Rebels. And then like you can see half of Anakin's face. And just that moment, especially when he tells him, I'm so sorry. And it's just like you feel the emotion in that moment, especially because this was his brother, you know? And in this point now, he feels like I led you down this path. I'm so sorry. Like Vader said in the previous episode, I am what you made me. And then Obi-Wan says, then my friend is truly dead. Similar to Luke in Return of the Jedi, then my father is truly dead. And I'm just like, I think that's the moment, right, where Obi-Wan now accepts it, because in the end, he's like, I'll see you later, Darth. He's not even trying to call him Anakin anymore. Like, you see him in A New Hope, he says, you're only a master of evil, Darth. He doesn't even acknowledge him as Anakin. So I think at this point, he now realizes, like, okay, Anakin's gone. I can't save him. It's up to the children now. So switching gears to the Luke stuff with Owen and Beru and then Reva being there, I was really confused why Reva was still after Luke. I will say though, Owen and Beru put up a heck of a fight against Reva. I mean, granted, I think part of it was because Reva was hurt, but like Owen and Beru really took it to her. But then we get to that moment, right, where Reva's about to kill him. And then she senses she has the flashbacks of the Order 66 stuff, and she can't do it. Even though we knew that Luke wasn't dead, I still appreciated the fact that everyone was sitting there kind of holding their breath, whether or not Luke was dead or not. And especially Obi-Wan, because like this is the whole fate of the galaxy right here if this boy dies, and fortunately he was still alive. Obi-Wan and Reva have a nice moment there towards the end. As nice as the moment was, there's still a lot about Reva's character that just didn't make sense to me, and I think I've made that apparent throughout all my discussion videos at this point. I do plan on making a video of like my overall thoughts on the Kenobi show, and we can go a little bit more into detail about that then. I loved seeing Obi-Wan say goodbye to Leia, going back, you know, to Alderaan, and seeing Bail again was very cool. Obi-Wan planting the seeds for like, hey, you know where to find me if you should need me again, which plays into Rogue One and A New Hope. We also got another Mustafar scene with Vader in his castle, and then this time we also see him talking with the Emperor, played by Ian McDiarmid. Very, very, very cool. The Emperor says a line similar to a line that he uses in Return of the Jedi. I wonder if your feelings on this matter are clear, Lord Vader. My attempt at a Palpatine impression. We're getting towards the end of this episode, right? And I'm like, okay, they need to do something with Qui-Gon, right? Like, surely they need to. They've been hyping it up all season long, unless they're going to do a season 2 and wait for it then. But I just feel like everything has been leading to this moment where it happens. And we see Obi-Wan riding off into I think it was like the Junlin Waste or something, right? He's going along. We see him leave his cave, right? So eventually I think it's gonna end up at the point where he gets that house that he has at the, in the beginning of A New Hope. And all of a sudden, Force Ghost Qui-Gon appears, which was really, really cool, man. That was... Whew, yeah, I mean, it was great. Like, what else can you say about it? It's freaking Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson coming back to reprise the role. What more can you ask for? I find it funny that Qui-Gon is the one to tell Obi-Wan, it took you long enough, because Qui-Gon was the one who took a while, you know what I'm saying? But I get the point. Like, Obi-Wan, in order for Obi-Wan to see Qui-Gon, he had to be able to open himself back up to the Force. And I think that's also what that moment of him lifting the rocks represented. It's like, okay, I'm not just some crazy old man sitting in the desert. I am a freaking Jedi Master. I don't want to say that Obi-Wan has like completely made the transition into old, Ben Alec Guinness Jedi Protector mode yet. But I think we've definitely taken steps towards that character. And if there's a season 2, then maybe we can do that a little bit more. Oh yeah, and then Obi-Wan ends up meeting Luke and gives him the ship as well, which was really cool. And he walks up to him and he says the old iconic line, "Hello there." And I was just like, hey, finally. Yeah, guys, overall, really good episode. I loved seeing the saber battle, seeing Ian back as the Emperor, seeing Liam back as Qui-Gon. So much amazing stuff happened in this episode, and I thought it was a great way to end the series of Kenobi. So I think, like I said, you guys, within the next week or so, I want to do like an overall, discussion about the Kenobi series, my full thoughts on it, what I thought about as the series as a whole, as far as the plot holes, all the other stuff that was involved with this series, stuff with the Inquisitors. Very excited to be doing that, you guys. So make sure you guys are staying tuned on my channel to check all that out. That is going to wrap us up for today, you guys. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video around to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
Like a panther. Yes?